second box. Okay, so the last time I ended in the story time, I was talking about Andre's journey and how he needed to things had to go wrong, and things did go wrong for Andre. Everything went wrong for Andre, so it's fairly heartbreaking, which is what I was saying, which leads to my point that that's the other thing about casting. You can divest yourself from the stakes of the tournament and just watch and see the story unfold. However, before we start cracking this cracking this box, the packs of this box, there is one thing that I should do, which is to ask you all to please like and subscribe, because the data states that 70% of you have not subscribed. So please do. Treasure pack. Let's see what that is. See what that is later. Okay, let's start this. So now, yeah, but then you also start on the opposite side. Spoilers if you haven't watched the stream, but we crowned a new champion, meaning that Justin didn't defend his title. Okay, Dave, there's your bloody adult Marlin. Nope, crack bubble. So yeah, but then you managed to find Joniel is the one who won, and then you could watch his story unfold. And it's just an amazing poetic story, to be honest with you. See, Joniel, much like Justin, when he won his first Justin, when he won his first when he won his calling, Taipei, has only been playing for just a year. And he played Azalea. Or rather, he initially started with Victor, then got his ass whooped by Anu. Never wanted to play Victor again and switched to Azalea. And he's a good Azalea player. I mean, at the height of the meta where Tekla was still very much viable, Azalea was one of those heroes that just had a hard time with Teklo. And Joniel managed to find a way around my Teklovossen, which impressed me greatly, to be honest. So he's a very good excuse me. So he's a very, very good player. And the thing is, he won with Azalea against Justin, who also won his first major tournament, which is Calling Taipei, with Azalea. And it was just such a beautiful story to follow. Nope. But yeah, so that's the thing. That's the thing about casting versus playing. Which one would I prefer? Honestly, both have their own merits, because when you're casting, you can just watch the story and enjoy the tournament for what it is, a display of skill in a game that is very skill intensive. But you don't have that feeling of just being able to pull off that combo, or pulling off enough of a win that against odds, against a bad matchup. It feels and it hits different when you're a player. And it's not something that I'm willing to give up just yet. Meaning, as much as I enjoy, what's this? Undercover acquisition. Okay. Expansion slot. As much as I enjoyed casting, I'd still want to play. So maybe every now and again I would cast, but I'd still probably prefer. Ah! Yes! Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So yes, I'm the box is really like telling me Puffin. It's the case is telling me like Puffin, you're meant to build Puffin. But yeah. So that's more or less my experience casting for Flesh and Blood in our national tournament. Now, obviously I need to talk about something else now, because I'm still not halfway through done the second box and I still have 2 more boxes to crack. So let's talk about, what can we talk about? Puffin. Why am I building Puffin? Well, okay. The reason I'm building Puffin is, like I mentioned, if you're not aware, I was a Dromai main. And I wasn't super good, but I had a good grasp of Dromai. A lot of people would tell me that my grasp of Dromai was pretty solid. And now the thing is, every time I would try to play Gravy Bones, there's a nagging feeling at the back of my head of every time I'd like go through the hoops and loops of trying to bring down allies. It just, something in the back of my head keeps going like, if this was a Dromai deck, you could flood the board more quickly. If this was a Dromai deck, you could have blocked with your invokes and still manage to you could block with your invokes, still be defensive. You know, oh, if this was a Dromai deck, I wouldn't have taken that much damage because I would have blocked with my full hand and just kept one card. So there was a lot of that. It's not Gravy Bones' fault. It's I admit it's mostly mine because I keep comparing it to Dromai. It's not Dromai. She left too early. She left before she actually reached her peak. A lot of people think that Dromai peaked in that Lizan Al-Gaib move, but no, I honestly think she still had more. There was still more for Dromai to give. But so yeah, so Gravy Bones, out of the question, mainly because I can't play him without being bitter about not having Dromai around anymore, which is not a good place to be when you're playing a hero, when you're trying to play a competitive game. You can't have those doubts and frustrations while you're playing. So next, Marlin. I never liked Rangers. I honestly thought I'd like Azalea. I tried playing her, just did not like the playstyle of Rangers. It's not the fault of Rangers, mind you, it's just not my jam. Puffin, on the other hand, is a mechanologist, which I play. I played Dash in Blitz before she LL. And I also played, obviously I play Teklovossen. I played a bit of Dash IO, dabbled in it a bit. But mechanologist is pretty much in my wheelhouse as well. So, now the thing is, I know Puffin is not good right now. She's not good in the meta, but I still want to build her. Why? Because I no longer have dreams of, well, not really, I still dream of it, but I have a realistic point of view on my chances of making into big tournaments, of actually winning big tournaments in the next months before the next expansion comes out. So I figured if I'm gonna play a hero that I am not going to be playing as competitively with, I'd rather play a hero that I find fun and enjoyable and most of all, cheap to build. Because one of the advantages of, since Puffin is not so good for cards, very cheap compared to like trying to build a gravy. Oh, forget it. I'm not willing to spend that much money on it. Ha! Okay, expansion. Herald of Sekhem. Light Initialist. Oh, okay. This is nice. I don't know if anybody would want it, but this is nice. Alright, hang on. If I go... Let's try to... Yeah, but you guys see my feet? No. No, forget it. Okay. So we'll just do it this way. Yeah. I should have done it this way to begin with. There. And the rest of the stuff is there. Okay, there. So those are our hits. Those are our hits so far. So yeah, so that's why I am building a Puffin deck instead of Gravy Bones. Now, okay, up tomorrow. Ooh, sorry. Sorry guys. It's my ADHD kicking in. Every time there's a song that's... Yeah, anyway. So yeah, that's the reason I'm building a Puffin. And so far this case is telling me Puffin. I'm getting so many cards that are like, yeah, Puffin. Definitely build a Puffin. Here and then here, yeah. So one more pack, then we get to open the other half. So yeah, so the next big tournament that I could probably attend to is Battle Hardened Manila. That's a CC event. That's in September, I think, if I remember it right. By then, I'm pretty sure the new expansion would be out by then, I think. Should be. They announced it. Maybe not. I don't know. But either case, we'll see how the meta shapes up. If I'm gonna be playing, but either or I'm playing Puffin or Teklovosen. So an interesting thing actually happened while I was casting. That is one of the older Fab players, not older in the age sense, but you know, one of the original first few players who adopted the game, approached me. See, I'm known as a Teklo player locally. I'm the only Teklo player who keeps bringing him consistently. And I'd like to think I'm the only Teklo player that can actually get him to perform to any level of competency with the same level of consistency. But so he was telling me that he was planning to eventually build a Teklo deck and wanted to, for this meta, and wanted to try to pick my brain or get my opinion on it. And I just had to say no, it's a bad meta right now. So why is it a bad meta? Alright, so let's start off from the remnants of the previous meta. Syndra can be managed. Fang, not a problem. My biggest problem, well, no, Syndra can be managed, but it's a tough matchup, especially when you're trying to prevent the massive momentum triggers. That can be a very, very difficult prospect. You need to properly build for it to try and prevent the MOM hits from Syndra. But overall, it can be manageable. It can turn 50-50. It's not super bad. What can be super bad though is the assassins. Why? Shred. If you catch a new assassin, they won't know the trick, so they're pretty okay. But when you start fighting an assassin that has fought a Teklo before, all they really have to do is to try and catch you blocking with your armor and then shred. And if you do, you lose your armor and then you lose your game plan. So that's an automatic shutdown for Teklo if that happens. That's from last year. So there's two assassins, Marionette and Slippy. So that's what makes it. And then you have Syndra, which is a hard matchup. Okay. Who's still around. Next. For the current ones, you have Marlin. I've won a few games against Marlin with my Teklovosen on Talishar. So it's not terrible, but it's hard. Why? Because she can overpower every... Oh, King Shark Harpoon. Nice. She can overpower her harpoons. And the wording of overpower is you may only use one action card to block. The thing is, Teklovosen's armor, his Evos, count both as an equipment and as an action. So, you'll be taking a crap ton of damage. It can be mitigated and managed, but on a good draw from the Marlin, you just get blown out of the water. So that's Marlin. Next, you have Gravy Bones. So what's so bad about Gravy Bones? Especially now that IE hit Living Legend already in CC, taking her pistol with her. Teklo has no consistent way of clearing board state. To be able to clear board state properly, we need a gun that's cheap to fire, has go again, and can fire multiple times in a single turn. So, no gun like that exists. Not anymore. I used to compensate. I used to use the pistol, Dash's signature weapon, the pistol, the Teklo pistol, along with induction chamber to do board clear. But even then, even if I had that, board state clear for Gravy, terrible. Can't clear the board. All he has to do is bring down allies that have more than 2 life, and he's golden. You'll have to dig and spend your attack action cards onto the allies, which in a Teklo deck isn't a lot, to be honest. And a lot of them are expensive and conditional. So Gravy, very bad. Finally, Puffin isn't a thing yet. Oh, escalate bloodshed. Okay, so not bad. Puffin isn't popular yet, but if she does get popular, she just blows Teklovosen out of the water. Why? One card, just one card and 3 cogs. Palantir. So, with Palantir, when Palantir attacks, I have to block with an armor. Normally, oh, that's not too bad. You know, you just block with an armor. Yeah, except if there's 3 cogs in play, sorry, the Puffin can just tap all three cogs and immediately trigger the effect of destroy a blocking card. And of course, since you had to block with your armor, she can blow your armor out of the water. And if she blows your armor out of the water, much like with Shred, you got nothing. Your game plan is ruined, and you got no way to clap back. And you got no other winning conditions. I really tried to make the triple fabricate build work so that I can re-equip the armor. And in some of the games, I actually managed to re-equip my armor and re-equip my my base, and then re-equip the armor But then by then, my life is so low, I have absolutely no way of being able to take damage so I can cast Singularity and win the game. So yeah, it's bad. And then you still have the upcoming Guardian Mastery Pack, where they also have Armor Destruction. So overall, yeah, I said it before, when Jarl came out, Tekla will probably hibernate. But then Jarl didn't really pick up in popularity, so I figured Tekla would still play. But now, no, it's really a bad meta. Sea Legs, generic action attack. Okay. Alright, how many more packs? Okay, I have a few more. For day, we have to end this video. So, do I still plan to keep Teklo updated? Yes. Why? Because, to be honest, he's become my thing. He's become my shtick, basically. Is he a meme deck? Depending on the meta, yes. Like right now, he's definitely a meme deck. But in the right meta, he switches from meme to a dark horse. Plus, it's just so much fun to play him. To be able to like pull off that singularity and just win the game out of when you're down to like one life. It just hits different, you know? That's why I'm still not giving up on Teklo. Will they release support for Teklo? I have my doubts. I think by this point they're just gonna forget about Teklo. Like so many of the other heroes in this game. But hey, at least he won't Living Legends for a while. For a very long time, so I can fully utilize it. Ooh, Blood in the Water. That is RF. Nice. Beautiful. So a lot of these cards that I'm not gonna use, Majestics that I'm not gonna use, I'm just gonna sell. Simply because I need funds. I need funds to build a Puffin deck. So, what would be the next hero I would get into if ever? Dromai, just the new Dromai. James White promised that Dromai will come back in one form or another at some point in time, and I will wait for that moment. I will wait for my Khaleesi to return. Oh yes, I am definitely. The case really is telling me, like, Puffin. Last pack. No legendaries yet so far, but we did get a Marvel, so. So, last pack. Okay. Yeah, no. Nothing special. As the wise old Sir Chuck would used to say during cracking. So yeah. So let's review what we got for hits. Mostly we got a Majestics. We got a lot of Majestics. We got an RF Blood in the Water. We got an RF Herald of Sekhem. We got a Cog in the Machine. So Puffin. I'll move that there already. Oh wait. Yeah. Sea Legs, Escalate Bloodshed, King Shark Harpoon, Golden Skywarden, Puffin, and Undercover Acquisition. These are hits for box number 2. So I will prep for box number 3 and think of what I can talk about while cracking. I'll probably just randomly talk about stuff. Alright, so again, like and subscribe please, since 70% of you apparently are not subscribed. Bye!